Museums in Singapore are updating what they do in more ways than one. Events in the last decade now count as history, and they're looking to showcase a wider variety of items, even those that break from tradition, all to shed light on more perspectives. The country's biggest museums speak with CNA's Cherie.
Dim lights and neon signs. You might be forgiven for thinking this is the nightlife district. It's actually an exhibition on Singapore's tourism history. Spotlighting recent eras with objects from the public is one way museums are updating how they present the country's story. The National Museum is planning to revamp the Singapore History Gallery along similar lines. For instance, with items depicting ordinary lives during the COVID-19 pandemic.
What we plan to do is to bring it all the way to the present, because I think one of the lessons that we learned over the last 2 years as a result of the pandemic and as a result of engaging our audience and different stakeholders is that they want to see how history actually relates to them.
Getting more people involved is part of a broader aim to represent a wider variety of communities. For instance, the Asian Civilisations Museum put together 2 recent showcases on Sikhism and Judaism with the help of these smaller religious groups. These Torah scroll cases, for instance, are on loan from the Jewish Welfare Board. The museum works with the Mahenabor Synagogue to pick out these artifacts. It's also advised the museum on how to display them in an appropriate manner. It also hopes to showcase Taoism and Zoroastrianism soon. They're among the world's oldest religions, but don't expect to see only ancient artifacts.
We're moving into the space of sort of contemporary design, and so that for us right now would be a priority. It's a shift away from this idea of the museum, being a very, very monolithic, top-down kind of space. Moving to contemporary allows us to work with living people.
The museum says some audiences still prefer more traditional offerings, but one art historian says these efforts are not about leaving the past behind.
It's adding to its ancient and medieval and modern objects. It's bringing a more contemporary layer. I'm imagining that this is not a way to present the past and the present or the old and the new as being separate or disconnected. In fact, I think these contemporary objects are a way to show how the past and the present evolve in a continuum.
Dr. Girardi adds that diversifying sources also helps museums avoid items that may have gone through illicit channels in their long history.